Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants, Hollywood Talk.
The new year begins with the return of Granny June Flori on the Rants. We're looking at TV Guide's 2019 mid-season preview picks. We analyze Dirty John, and Granny gives advice to Lindsay, the Beverly Hills Housewives, and other celebrities in need of guidance in 2019. Let the ranting begin. I am sitting across from artist and author of More Memories and Mental Snapshots, Granny June Flori.
Hi there, everyone.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
This is our New Year's episode. Anyone new to the show, this is our annual kickoff to the new year, new rants, and here we are with sitting across from Granny, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to give some advice, of course. You know, we're going to talk about TV and stuff, and a lot more. We're coming up with the holidays. I just got back from New York, where I was at the Cher show, and I don't talk much about theater on this podcast, but we've actually talked about the Cher show on Grant's Rants, so I wanted to give some thoughts on it. Overall, I was really impressed by this. Has Cher been on your radar? Not herself, but the Cher show. Have you heard anything about this?
I've seen pictures of her all dressed. But boy, she looked very, very good. Mm-hmm. She never seems to age.
No, they even joke about that in the show.
Yeah, she looked fantastic. I wonder what her secret is.
Yeah, I enjoy Cher. The show opened on the 3rd of December, and I was there on the 19th, and I was shocked that I could get tickets that I could afford. And so I was like, this is definitely something like fresh, like new. So I wanted to see it, and I also really wanted to see the show when it was done in Cher's vision. Like when Broadway shows run for a while, the cast changes. There are no original cast members.
Yeah. This
was all cast in her vision. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see it when it was still like fresh, new, and the way she wanted it, really.
Yeah. She's been around a long time, but she's done very well for herself over the years. And as I say, she looks great.
What's interesting is she mentioned her son Chaz, but even when she had as a child, when she gave birth, she mentioned her kids. And this was because it was chronicling her life. There were 3 different versions of Cher that played different parts of her during her life, starting from childhood to now, like that very day. It was kind of cool. But she never referred to Chaz anything other as Chaz. She never, because originally born as Chastity, the whole story.
Yeah.
So I that was interesting to me that, she really didn't cover that part of her life. And I feel like that's a major part of any transgender parent's life. Maybe she's just got so much going on that was a footnote. I mean, she's had a huge life.
Well, I heard when Chastity turned to Chaz, it took some time for the transition. She just couldn't accept it at first. She couldn't. But then over the years, she has accepted it.
Yeah.
But I wonder how he's doing now.
Very off the radar, Chaz Bono. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know because when I saw him the last time, which was years ago, he had gotten so huge. I don't know if it was the medication that he had been on, but he had gotten very, very large.
Yeah.
So, but she seems to have, moved on in her life, and I'm sure she's accepted
I hope
him.
so. Yeah, I think so.
I'm sure.
Overall, good story. Her personality was really heavily featured. It was really about her. But you could see even her personality and how the dialogue was put together and the song choices. There was a lot of humor. And the music was great. I mean, I don't know more than 2 Cher songs. So a lot of it went over my head. But as far as a production goes and the use of music through story, I would recommend it. So let's move on. 2019 TV. Is it worth to watch these shows or not? We are consulting with TV Guide magazine, the January 7th issue, 2019 preview.
Yeah.
Granny and I have looked over some of these shows, and, I don't know, worth it or not.
Well,
what are you looking at?
I've looked at some of them. One of them I think that would be good to look at would be the Brady's Reunion. That's on HGTV. It's a very Brady renovation. It has 6 of the original actors in it. Of course, Florence Henderson has since passed away last year. Now, what happened is that house that they used as the background,
Exterior, yeah.
you know, they had sets for the interior, not in that house, but they used that house for the exterior. Well, that house came up for sale in 2018, and HGTV grabbed it for $3 million. And they're taking the whole interior apart and making it exactly like the sets that they had when they were in the series.
Yeah.
And so they're also adding 2,000 square feet to the footprint of the house.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I question this because, and I think it's a cool idea, but I don't know what the goal is once it's done. Are they going to Airbnb it, like stay a night at the Brady house? Like, I don't know what the goal is other than for a TV series. The bottom line is I looked at the photos of that house before the renovation while it was on the market. And while it was very dated, it was kind of a nice, quaint home.
Well, they're not going to change the exterior.
No, but the interior. So I'm surprised it was all like original to when that house was built, 60s, 70s-ish.
Yeah.
But it's all gone now. And the bottom line is that was just an exterior. It really wasn't like the set. So I don't know what the goal is, why they're even bothering. I guess just for good TV?
I don't know. Maybe they're gonna film it in there.
Film what? I don't know.
Film a story in there.
Like a redo?
The reunion, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
They're going to have like the floating staircase and the sunken living room with the shag carpeting and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way it used to be. So I think that might be something interesting to look at. The people that are in there, the original ones, are Marsha, Peter, Cindy, Bobby, Jan, and Greg. Mm-hmm. There's 6 of them from the original, and they're all old now.
Yeah, that guy who plays Greg, he'll go to the opening of an envelope. So I'm not surprised. This is probably a big deal for him to go back.
Deal. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have a little companion digital series on HGTV.com. It's 4 to 5 minutes, and it shows one of those actors who played the kids kind of looking over the shoulder of the construction crew. The Property Brothers are in and out.
Yeah, they're in there.
Yeah.
They're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'll take a look.
I think they're going to make a movie also out of Breaking Bad. They're filming in Mexico right now. And we don't know if it's going to be another series or just one movie for the big screen or for television. You
know, I love Breaking Bad, but I don't think they should do a movie for it. I don't. I think it lives as one of the best television shows. Just let it be as it is. So this very Brady renovation, do we know when this is coming out? I couldn't find an air date.
No, they don't have any yet.
Okay.
Because they have to finish the house.
Yeah. There's a show coming on over on Fox. There's a show coming on over on Fox. It's called The Passage. It comes out the 14th of January. This is how they put it in TV Guide magazine. In the sci-fi epic based on Justin Cronin's apocalyptic trilogy, a government-created project has turned people into vampire creatures. Yeah. Now, it goes on and on and on. I'm not reading all of it because I couldn't care less. This is a show that point by point is exactly what I'm not interested in.
Me too. I don't care about vampires at all.
Oh, I know you hate vampires.
It's a government-created project in The Passage. It's supposed to be a government-created project that turns people into vampire creatures. I mean, how uninteresting is that?
It's so boring. So Fox, but so boring.
Who cares about vampires in the first place? And to actually make them? I mean, who could be bothered?
I can't suspend my disbelief. I couldn't suspend my disbelief in any story like that.
I mean, who thinks of these things? It must be somebody that's either on drugs or had a hangover. I mean, what minds think of these things? I can't believe it.
Some agent is on the run with Patient Zero, a young orphan who may be the key to saving humanity. Count me out.
Saving humanity?
Oh, I can't.
Never happened. Saving humanity. One person, forget it.
I can't watch anything like this, no.
What sick minds have thought of this?
Some boring people. Over on Hulu on March 15th, there's going to be a show coming out called Shrill, and I think I'm going to look at this. SNL's Aidy Bryant stars in the 6-part take on Lindy West's hilarious memoir, Shrill, Notes from a Loud Woman. I think I'm going to look at this.
It says, can Annie Bryant break from people's impression to become a successful journalist? She wants to become a successful journalist. Can she do that? I don't know.
Well,
and who cares?
You're not interested?
Notes from a loud woman? I mean, if you're that loud, I don't know how you're going to become a successful journalist. Forget it.
So
I'm not interested in that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
No, not interested.
What else?
Well, I looked up some others. There's Proven Innocent.
What's that?
That comes on Friday, February 15th on Fox. Madeline Scott is a defense attorney. She tries to help people accused wrongly of crimes. She and her brother were wrongly accused before the verdict was overturned. They served for 10 years for a crime that they didn't commit. And after 10 years, they were freed. So now she wants to help people that are being accused of crimes that they haven't committed because she suffered that way herself. But she's up against this powerful and corrupt state attorney, Gore Bellows, played by Kelsey Grammer.
No.
Against each other in a case the preacher's wife is convicted of lethal arson. It might be interesting to see how this turns out, but I don't care for Kelsey Grammer.
No, most people don't.
How does he get all these roles? He's in one role after the other.
Constantly.
He must have a good agent.
Yep. Here's the deal. Like, this show is worth giving it a shot just because it's based in reality.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no extra force at work, or it's just, I guess, the legal system. But Kelsey Grammer, I don't know how long this will go.
He's had more damn roles. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't even find him that interesting.
No.
But anyway.
And he's charging them big money to be on that show, too. Barely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, if it might be interesting to see how this girl attorney, can go up against him to win the case for this preacher's wife who was convicted of lethal arson. If you're interested in anything like that. I thought maybe, I don't know. Not really, but if I'm desperate.
I mean, it's
I'm desperate,
worth. It's worth checking out, I guess, if you just really are craving a new show. If you're in a show hole and you need something, maybe try it. One thing I won't be doing, Whiskey Cavalier, February 27th on ABC. This is typical ABC.
Yeah.
When they talk about this, an FBI agent whose code name is Whiskey Cavalier, and he's in. This is from TV Guide. Is in full sob after a painful split. What is that? Is that a term? Full? I never heard of full sob.
I never did either.
What's that? Enter
Does
CIA.
That mean he's crying his eyes out? I don't know.
Enter CIA operative Francesca Trowbridge, a.k.a. Fiery Tribune.
Yeah.
And it's an odd couple rom dramedy. I don't know.
Yeah, they team up to run an interagency team of spies, crack-wise, kick-ass, and also between the sheets. They make each other absolutely crazy.
This is typical ABC. Two zany cops.
The only thing about this that people might find interesting is that it's filmed in a lot of beautiful European settings.
That's cool.
European castles, Gothic Czech churches, Parisian streets. That might appeal to some people just for the scenery. If you shut off the sound and just look at the scenery, you might enjoy it. It might be a lesson in history.
There you go.
Or geography or whatever. But I mean, as far as, and the Whiskey Cavalier, who the hell thought of that name? What does that mean, Whiskey Cavalier?
It's obnoxious to me.
Does that mean that he's the Cavalier, is always drunk, or what? I don't know who thinks of these things and how much they're getting paid to do it, but Jesus Christ, they're getting paid for nothing.
Yeah.
These people are off the shots.
One thing that might be good, to me it channels a little bit of Feud, Betty versus Joan, a period piece, FX, Fosse Verdon.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming out in the spring. As
Yeah.
of today, there's no current air date,
No,
but story between the legendary Broadway actress,
Yeah,
dancer,
Yep.
what's her name? Gwen?
Gwen Verdon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the choreographer, director, Bob Fosse, of course.
They follow their career together, showcasing Verdon on the Great White Way and Red Heart, Sweet Charity, Chicago, Michelle.
Oh, yeah, she was in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
It's, you know what I like about this? It's an 8-episode limited series. So that way, it's a tight story. That we need more things like this. And I think most people would agree.
Yeah.
We don't need to have 23 weeks, 12 weeks of shows.
No.
If you can get it down and tight and tell a cohesive story, do it. I love Michelle Williams. So she's going to play this Gwen. And I think she's a fantastic actress and an even better singer.
Yeah.
So she's really been on my radar since that.
Sam Rockwell, he's playing Fosse.
She in? Greatest Showman. Sam Rockwell, yeah.
This Fosse, the real Fosse, he won an Oscar for directing Cabaret. It could be interesting if you're like dancing, and theater.
I'm giving this a definite shot.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think I'll try it too.
Yeah.
It might be interesting.
Anything else notable to you? Just Big Little Lies jumped out to me. There's no current date for that show as of today.
No. Well, there was one show I thought might be interesting on PBS. It's called Mrs. Wilson. This girl, it's a true story, really. She returns as her grandmother, Allison Wilson, a suburban housewife. She finds her husband was married to 3 other women. Her whole life unravels as she finds out other family secrets. It might be good.
That sounds intriguing. It sounds real, true to life.
Yeah, it might be good. And this Ruth Wilson is actually playing her own grandmother, Allison Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And she finds out a lot of things about what her grandmother went through and finding out that her husband had other wives.
Yeah.
So it might be interesting to look at.
Nowadays, all you need is a 23andMe DNA set. People are discovering they have stray family members all over the globe with these DNA kits.
Yeah, I'm not going to get one because I have enough family members. I don't want any more. There's enough nutcases already around. I don't want to find out about any more of them, wherever they may be. Good luck to them.
What's keeping me really entertained, and right now is kind of a slow time with entertainment and television, but I'm watching Dirty John, and I'm really into this show.
Yeah, I am too.
This was something I was definitely going to give a shot to, and I'm glad I did. Connie Britton is really, honestly, just playing this role fantastically. I believe everything that she's doing, and I'm able to separate the actress from the character, and I feel like she's this woman. She's Deborah Newell.
Oh, yeah, she is. And she talks in that very soft little voice as someone who is submissive and forgiving, and and she just can't let go of this John. He's so conniving, and he puts it over on her, and he's so evil, really. Underneath.
And Eric Bana, who's playing him, is just pulling it off.
Yeah, he looks sleazy. I hate to say it, but he does. He looks sleazy.
He does.
You don't like him.
I don't like him.
No. Right from the beginning, you don't like him.
Yeah.
And I get a kick out of the daughters, especially the older Veronica there.
Oh, yeah.
She's got his number, and he knows it, And she's so pissed with her mother for taking him back. She can't really understand it.
Yeah.
How the mother is taking him back after all he's done. And she sees him through, getting rid of his drug addiction, and she's, and he's still, fooling around. He tells her lies about his first wife and how he screwed her up.
Terrible. He's a terrible liar, but he's a fantastic liar at the same time.
Very
because
convincing.
He can twist and turn.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to spoil anything on this podcast for anyone who wants to watch and hasn't got there yet.
Yeah.
But, it's also based on the podcast, which I'm listening along with the show and seeing, and comparing and contrasting how it's done. And both are excellently produced shows.
Very, very good.
Really into this. Jean Smart. I didn't know that was her, believe it or not, in that wig. And then when she was back back playing her when she was the flashback when she had the blonde wig on. I said, "Oh, that's who that is."
Yes.
And I think she's been doing a kick-ass job on this show.
Yeah, very good.
It's a strong show. The daughters are like a little color, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm enjoying the show quite a bit, and I'll be sad when it's over, but it definitely makes me uncomfortable to watch. It's not a comfortable watch, especially when you see how that John operates and you know that there's an angle coming, you know?
Oh yeah, you just want to shake her and wake her up.
Yeah.
But she's so convinced.
Yeah. And it's all based on a true story.
Yes. Well, I can see how that can happen. It happens every day to people. They're so bamboozled by people.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and they're like obsessed with these people. They want to do everything they can to help them. And see, he has a way about him that he makes her feel sad for him and guilty about him. He puts it on really, really good, you know. And the way he talks his way out of a paper bag, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. You know, he's so convincing and conniving.
Well, I encourage everyone to check out the show on demand and over on Bravo. I mean, it's a good
very
watch.
Good show. Don't miss it. It's something to look forward to every Sunday night.
Well, when we come back, we're going to be looking at some different celebrities, people out there in the Bravo world, too, giving them some advice. Granny always does this every year. You know, we're approaching a new year. We need to have a new mindset. She's going to help us. She's going to help us out, them out, and more. And then we're going to talk about her book. We're going to get into that and a few other things. So stick around. It's a good one.
Yeah. See you later.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back talking with Granny June here. I'm at her house in Coventry and Rhode Island. And this has kind of turned into a little bit of a tradition now. I almost recorded the show at a different location and it didn't really feel right. I feel like we have to do it here. I come down, you know. Granny is literally over the river and through the woods.
Yes. Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Big river. Yeah. A lot of rivers and lakes around here.
Yeah.
I'm really out in the boonies. I mean, I got bears in the backyard, wild turkeys, coyotes, fisher cats, whatever.
Ooh, those fisher cats are ugly.
And all kinds of birds, bears. Yeah, I'm out in the boonies, but even though I'm out in the boonies, I'm well aware of what's going on in the world.
Yes, you're plugged in. I always say
plugged
this.
In. I don't stay here and just molt. No. I get out and see what's going on.
Let's get into some advice. There's some stuff happening with celebrities. It's kind of a quiet time, but we're looking towards the future. We're looking in the new year. Lindsay Lohan is returning to TV. She's going to be on an MTV series starting the 8th called Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club. And I will 100%, like that minimum 100% be watching, like meaning absolutely will be watching the show. I cannot wait for it. I do predict that it will be her kind of bookending the show with an appearance at the beginning and the end and then a bunch of other nonsense and ancillary characters in the middle kind of filling it up. But I'm going to watch anyway. But, you know, this is an opportunity for Lindsay to come back to a mainstream network and have her own series where she's a boss. What advice do you have for her heading into this new project?
Don't screw it up. Be there on time. Don't waste time doing other things. Pay attention because you don't want to flub this one.
No.
You want to make a go of this one. And you have to be serious about it. That's my advice.
Well, we all saw her
Stick
on
with
OWN.
it.
We saw her on the Oprah Winfrey Network documentary where she was late for everything and, you know, she was fooling around and made nothing but excuses, lied to Oprah.
I mean, you can only get away with that for so long. This is another chance. Don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. I really do.
Be on time. And don't think that people are going to hang around and waiting for you because you're not that important, really. To yourself, you're important, but not to other people. And they can get rid of you in a minute if they want to. So don't screw it up. Be on time and be serious about it. It's about time you grew up.
Ooh, figure it out, Lindsay.
That's it.
All right. Well, let's move on to Real Housewives of New Jersey. I feel like you give her advice every year. Teresa Giudice. Her husband has they made the ruling that he's going to be deported. They filed an appeal. Here she is at the beginning of another year, another mess. They claim the 4 daughters are suffering because they're not with their father. At this point, the way the immigration status is in this country, I mean, what advice can you give them?
Well, I have a feeling that he's going to find some way to not be deported. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
As far as she goes, she has gotten very kind of even more bossy than she ever was. She picks on that sister-in-law of hers, Melissa, mercilessly for the most foolish things. She has to mature. She hasn't matured, even though she thinks she has. Because to pick on foolish things that, like her sister-in-law must be keeping her husband from visiting her father. I mean, that is ridiculous. That father does not need to see his son every day in the week. He gets mad and he complains because he doesn't see his son, Joe, as often as he'd like. Well, I mean, I don't care for Joe. I mean, he drives me
Joe
crazy.
Gorga. Yeah.
I can't, I don't know how Melissa puts up with him. But anyway, I mean, he is busy. He's got his own business. He has his own kids, his own family. And for her to keep picking on him, saying, you don't go and see our father enough. And she blames Melissa for it. I mean, and that other girl there, the new one on the show there, is it Jackie? She's standing up to her like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, I like that. I still don't know the names. I always joke. I don't know the names of the 2 new girls because I'm not invested in them. But let me give her some credit. That girl is coming in hot, and she's standing up to the OG, Teresa.
Yeah. She said, I'm not afraid of Teresa, but Teresa has that real wild temper like her brother, and that Melissa is caught between the 2 of them. I don't know how she doesn't go crazy. Yeah. That other girl there, that Jennifer, the Turkish girl there.
Can't stand her.
Well,
can't stomach her.
I like her for one reason. She's so dumb. She doesn't realize how stupid she sounds when she says things, and she comes out with all these crazy remarks. And she's like a child. She hasn't been out in the world or knows what anything is about. She comes out and brags about her home and how gorgeous it is. And I mean, she is so backward, really.
What do you do with 16 bathrooms?
You must have diarrhea. That's all I can say. If you need 16 bathrooms, you have a problem with your intestines.
I'd be embarrassed to tell. First of all, I don't speak like that.
First of all, she comes out and says foolish little things like that and makes a fool of herself. But she doesn't know she's doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I get a kick out of. I get a kick out of seeing her make a fool of herself.
The thing is, I'm not impressed.
No.
And, if they say, well, what if someone was like this on Beverly Hills? We can flash back to that girl with the $25,000 sunglasses, Dana Wilkie. You remember her? She had the rented house with the rented couches and all that.
Oh.
I look back at her and I'm like, whatever, like that was fun, but why am I not having fun with this one? It's just because I'm not that impressed by her.
No.
I don't think that she's really showing off any type of lifestyle that I'm envious of. I don't care for any of her home decor.
No.
It's a pretty house from the outside, but it's how do they say in Italian? Cafoni. It's phony to me. Fake. It's not real.
The whole show is cafone.
Yeah.
The only one that isn't is Margaret. I mean, she's not a cafone. And I like her husband. He's Italian, but he's not a cafone.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. And Margaret tries to make sense out of all these people.
Yeah.
But she's wasted her time because you can't put any sense into people like Teresa. I mean, she's got her own way of thinking, and that's it. I mean, she will not change for anybody.
Speaking of Margaret, now I want to know, her husband Joe, another Joe on the show, is very busy taking care of Marge Sr. while Margaret's off doing this, that, and the third.
Oh, yeah.
And they posted a photo on Christmas where there's Margaret in the pajamas.
Yeah.
There's her husband in the matching pajamas, right with the mother-in-law.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He married the mother when he married her.
Oh, yeah, that's a package deal.
What advice can you give him? I mean, Margaret's got to pump the brakes with him. I mean, she's spoon-feeding Marge. He's spoon-feeding Marge Sr. when she's got the facelift and the vaginal rejuvenation and all this stuff. I mean,
she must be nuts at her age to do all that. Who's going to bother with her vagina? One look at her face and they don't want to be bothered. Even though she had the facelift, I saw her after the facelift because she went with the girls this last episode and she was there. And she doesn't look hardly any better. It was a waste of time and money. And who the hell's going to bother with her vagina? Can you tell me? When one look at her face, although some men will go for anything between the legs, but I mean, she wasted her time and money doing all that stuff. That's craziness. Give it up. How old is she? Everything, by a certain age, everything is dropped. It's not going to be put back up again. But I mean, come on. But the husband, maybe maybe Margaret's making good money, and he doesn't mind taking care of her mother once in a while if the finances are good.
Yeah.
That's probably the only way he'll take care of that woman. I mean, who would want to be bothered? It's a complete waste of time anyway. It's not going to get her anywhere. She's always around with those other girls. She doesn't fit in. She's...
No, you're not into Marge Sr. Wow.
Let's face it. I mean, come on.
That must be tough. That is a package deal, like for real though. I mean, there they are on Christmas Day. He couldn't even have a night alone, you know?
Yeah. Well, my advice is to anybody who marries somebody, be very careful who they're attached to because you're going to get a package deal for life. You're never going to come first. Believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So so be careful. If you see anybody that's too attached to a brother or a sister or a daughter or a whatever, be careful because no matter how much you do, they'll always come first. And if you don't want them in your life, you're left out.
That's true.
They take over.
Well, there's some advice. Look at that. Advice for the listener and for Joe, whatever his last name is.
Well, it must be
Joseph. The other Joe.
It must be worth it for him.
Yeah, it's Joe somebody.
It must be worth it because who would take care of that creature?
I want to go to the next one. Giving some advice to Andy Cohen, he announced on Watch What Happens Live that he's going to be giving birth in early 2019 via surrogate to a baby.
Good for Andy.
What do you make of this?
Well, everybody, if they want to have a child, I can't prevent them from it. He's probably very well off financially to be able to take care of a child. I don't know who his partner is and who it is and what they do for a living.
I don't think he has one, but I'm sure he'll have plenty of help.
He doesn't have a partner?
No.
Oh, well, that's strange. Anyway, I mean, he seems very happy about having this child. I just hope that he doesn't want it just because he wants to keep up with everybody else.
Right.
I hope he wants it because he really wants to have a child and that he will put his personal time into this child's bringing up and taking care of it and not just hand it over to some nanny. Right. Just to say he has a child.
Yeah, like an ornament.
I want him to be personally involved.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep track of him, too, to make sure he is. He seems like an all right guy, a little bit stuck on himself, but,
Oh, who isn't?
He's got quite an ego.
I will say the way he announced it on the show was very organic, and it was nice, and the way he spoke to his audience about, they've been with him through his journey, and he was setting it up as if he was announcing his departure, but then it was the twist of the child, which, good for him. I am genuinely happy for him, but I hope that it isn't just like a nanny situation.
Yeah. I think he probably, everybody during their lifetime, they want to have someone they can leave things to. Mm-hmm. Especially if someone like him, he's made a lot of money. And it's a shame if you don't have somebody that you can leave it to.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a family. It really is. In the end of your life, when you get old, that's really only people you can depend on is your family.
He has everything else, so.
Exactly. So I wish him well. I really,
Me
really
too.
do.
Yeah.
I wish him well.
Other than the United States government, the only other thing that needs the most help and advice in 2019 are the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Perhaps a show that some may argue should have been canceled. I think it's in horrible shape. The season 9 trailer came out. It's going to be on Bravo February 12th.
Yeah.
I'll be watching. They've had a few rough seasons under their belt. Now they've got Denise Richards. Lisa Vanderpump, they're leading the trailer with all of this tease. Is she in? Is she out? What's happening? The truth is better than anything you've been reading. What do you make of this? What advice do you have?
Well, I saw the previews of it. It looks completely wild to me. It looks as though they've had to go to extremes to try and make this thing appealing.
Good point. Good point.
There's a lot of sexy things in there. A lot of really low kind of sex things that, there were some in last season too, when they went to that show, the strip show, and they had somebody's face in somebody's crotch. And I mean, if you can't have quality stuff, you have to resolve to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, it looks crazy. It really does. And Lisa Rinna there, she's running around with a blonde head of hair.
Oh,
she
yeah.
looks terrible.
Well, she's trying to look like Erica Jane. She was dressed up like her for Halloween.
Oh, God.
Which is a little, brown-nosing, ass-kissing. Like, we know they're friends, but that Lisa Rinna will do anything for camera time, so I'm not surprised.
She will do anything. I mean, right, she even did a commercial for diapers or something, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's a wonder she doesn't do one for tampons or something. Show how they're inserted. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. It looks as though they've really gone wild for the next series.
Here are my thoughts on the trailer, since I haven't been able to talk about this yet. The trailer is passable. They made it look exciting. Of course, when you supercut the biggest, most outrageous moments together, of course, you can make, anything look exciting if you edit it correctly. And we've seen that time and time again. Real Housewives of Orange County, and everything else. But I want to, really think about this, too, because I like that they're going to have, Kim is going to have an appearance. I know you don't like Kim Richards.
Again? Encore?
Brandi Glanville is going to walk in for a drink because she's friends with the new housewife, Denise. So that's going to be her way back into the group. And if they can throw Lisa Vanderpump out on the street, then they can bring back Brandi. But I'm sure for as long as LVP is part of the show, they couldn't have Brandi on because of their falling out. And that Lisa Vanderpump, we've talked about this, she had all new producers this season, so she wasn't able to pull the strings and get the special treatment she wanted. So I don't think we're going to see much of her, but she was in that promo a lot. And I think that was to throw people off the scent because I don't think she's going to make an appearance at all in the second half because she didn't shoot. She didn't film. She refused to film.
She did?
Yep.
How come she refused to film?
Because they caught her in a lie.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, big deal.
But apparently, according to Bravo, the truth is better than what's in print. So we're going to find out on the 12th. But, let's get to the point quick because sometimes they order, 20, I say this all the time, like 23 weeks of these shows. I'm not waiting till week 19 to see what's going to happen. Like, let's just cut to the chase. Because if they're really not friends and she really doesn't want to do it, I don't want to see a bunch of fake kissing and fake trips and all this. Just leave.
Yeah.
My advice, I'm giving advice now to Lisa Vanderpump, and I said this on the Christmas episode, leave, be done.
That's what I think. She's got that other show.
Yeah.
And she's all involved in that. Why does she need two? We don't want her in this one anymore. She's sickening. Her and all her animals. Forget it.
That's it. Judgment made.
That's it.
Oh, man. Well, that's all I have for advice. It's going to be a big year for Lindsay, I hope. And, Andy Cohen, big year. And then, of course, we're going to be watching The Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I get tired of all this constant fighting, and I know they think it makes the show exciting, and a lot of people love all that, all that backbiting and fighting and gossiping with one another, which is okay. But don't overdo it. It becomes crazy after a while. So, and that's my advice. I have some advice for everybody for the end of the year.
Okay, I'm listening.
Now, this is my advice for anybody, not just the housewives or anybody out there.
Okay, I'm listening.
Say how you really feel without being too abrasive. Think positive thoughts. Befriend people who think positively. Don't go with people that think negatively. It rubs off.
Yeah, it does.
And, their outlook can rub off on you, whether it's positive or negative. So go with people that are positive. Don't go with people that are always cynical and looking at the lower side of life. Try to go with people that think good.
Yep.
Be thankful every day for something. No matter how bad things seem to be, there is always at least one thing to be grateful for. Even the fact that you are breathing, it means you're alive.
Yeah.
Have goals and work toward them. Don't be too hard or judgmental on people. Everyone is fighting their own battles. You don't know what they are, but everybody has a battle. And look to the new year with happy expectations. Never feel sorry for yourself, because that is your downfall. And that's what I have to say for the new year, and love to all of you.
Nice. That's great. I didn't know you were going to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful stuff. Yeah, no, I hear you about surrounding yourself with positive people. I'm making a few changes myself this year with certain crowds, and I am going to follow that advice.
Go with people that you can learn something from.
Hard to find in Los Angeles.
Go with people that will lift you up and not put you down.
Right.
Make your friendships worthwhile. And when you find a worthwhile friendship, be a good friend.
Amen.
That's it. My advice from Granny June for the year 2019. God willing, I may still be here next year.
I hope so.
I'll be 90 in June. I'm still walking, talking, seeing, hearing, driving, and know where I'm going.
Perfect.
And did I talk about my book?
Oh,
Yes.
excuse me. She's become a brand. Yes. Tell me about the book. Yes. No, let's talk about it.
Okay. My second book is called More Memories and Mental Snapshots. It's a continuation of my first book, More Memories about how things were when I was growing up. Very interesting things that people of today wouldn't know.
Yep.
This goes back 90 years. I've seen a lot, done a lot, and learned a lot. And that's what the beginning of the book is about. The middle part of the book is called Mental Snapshots, because it's about all little incidents that happened to me in my later life when I had my children, grandchildren, little stories that I think might be funny. Some of them are sad, but most of them are humorous, I hope. And the third part of the book is some poems that I wrote years ago when I was in my 14, 15, 16 years. And only the last poem was written a few years ago. Mm-hmm. But that's what the book is. Now I'm in my third book, and I'm almost done with that one. That is a fiction book based on fact. And, of course, everything has been changed around. Different things happen to the wrong people. But it's a fiction book.
You mean like name changes and stuff?
Name changes, situations. Things happen to the wrong people that really happened in life, Oh,
yeah.
So,
I get it.
But it's quite a long book. I'm on my 35th chapter right now.
Wow.
And I think if another 4 or 5 chapters, it'll be done. And that book should be coming out in the spring.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the name of that book is going to be Innocent Revenge.
I did not know this. You're announcing it here.
And I'm going to draw something for the cover.
Okay.
To put on the cover.
Well, if you want to check out Granny's writing, and just again, More Memories and Mental Snapshots was her second book.
That can be got on Amazon.
Yeah. Both books can be found now on Amazon,
Yeah.
and I encourage you to check it out because it's good, and you're supporting Granny June, and and honestly, like they're it's not like it's boring. They're great pieces of work, and we're so lucky to have them published, and like these memories and mental snapshots will live forever, as I've said previously, in print.
It's a fast read. It's a nice little book you can take on a plane with you, and you can read it, be done with it when the flight is over.
Well, what's nice is even I'm reading it, and I've heard a lot of these, but there are details and things that I ask you about, because then I'm like, wait a minute, like I don't remember it that way. And then I learn more because of the book, and it opens up a good conversation and dialogue between us.
Yeah. It was fun to write. It brought back a lot of memories that I had forgotten, really. Brought back a lot of memories.
Wow, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so great. I love it. And I've been enjoying it. I'm not completely through the whole book, but I'm getting there, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm not trying to buzz through it. To be honest with you, I'm not trying to buzz through it because it's so nice to sit down, put on some little classical music in the background, and sit and read, because that's very hard for me to do. I've got so much to do, so I look forward to it.
Yeah,
that's why I don't want to buzz through it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have read it 2 and 3 times.
Oh, well, there you go.
They've enjoyed it so much that they've read it again.
Yeah.
So I'm happy if I can make other people happy and let them learn something about life the way it was back then.
So what's the name of the first book, if anyone's curious?
My Italian Family, Life in the Past Lane.
And the second book is More Memories and Mental Snapshots.
Right.
Nice. Any final thoughts, Granny June?
Well, the only thing, like I said, hopefully I'll be here again next year, God willing. And I'm doing okay. I've had some big changes in my life in the past few weeks, few months.
Yeah.
But like any other time in my life, you just have to learn to adapt. And
I feel like that's all you do is adapt.
Hopefully I will adapt again to my new way of living.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I love having you on. This is such a great thing. So I hope people enjoy it. Yeah.
I wish everybody have a wonderful new year and think positive.
And let me say this. I put a lot on my Instagram, my Insta story. No, it's not a plug to follow me, but I never get the response that I have unless I have you in the Insta stories.
Wonderful.
So I hope they support the show.
I love them all.
Yeah. I love you for listening, guys. Like, it's a new year, new rants. I'm still going over on patreon.com/GrantsRants. It's a really simple way. It's like $1 a month or $3 a month. You could choose. I'm putting out little bits of content 2 times a month. It's just another way to support the show. Check it out if you want. Granny, thank you for coming on. I mean, everything, the advice.
Thank you for having me. It's been a fun, really great time.
We should have our heads straight now on how to think and what to watch in 2019.
Absolutely. Pay attention. Bye-bye.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon at patreon.com/GrantsRants. Follow Grant on Twitter and Instagram at It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by RHONJ. Voiceover by Original theme music by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.